So I made an Austrian-style goulash that is completely vegan. I made my own seitan a while back, but this time I'm using a pre-bought seitan base. It makes things so much easier. Also, these little numbers, little Serviettenknödels, which are just bread dumplings, they're also completely vegan. So usually to make these dumplings, they get held together by egg. So instead of using real egg, I used an egg substitute. And they don't taste any different than the regular Serviettenknödel. Considering it's coming into goulash season over here, it's getting a little cold outside, and you wanted to give this vegan version a go, this is how you do it. So the style of goulash we're making today is the Austrian style, not the more popular Hungarian. In the Austrian style, they use exactly the same amount of onions by weight as they do to meat. When I was recipe testing this, I feel like it needed more because there's no gelatin or anything that leaches out of the meat, and I feel the sauce needs to be thicker. I'm going to be using double the amount of onions that I am to seitan to make the sauce a little bit thicker. So we'll get those cooking down first. Alright, so in the pot, go some margarine. Use a little bit more than you think because the fat needs to carry that flavour around your mouth once you eat it. Alright, once it's mostly melted down, go ahead, add your onions. So a very key part to this Austrian goulash is how you cook the onions. Now, you got to cook these over a medium-low heat, which I've got it on medium-low now. You don't want to get much colour on these onions, if any, if possible. If you see one getting a little too brown in there, go ahead and pick it out. Also, go ahead and add a little bit of salt at this stage. So with this seitan, I am cheating a little bit. I'm using a store-bought seitan base. Now, you can make this yourself. I've got a video on that, which we'll link down below. To make it yourself, you essentially get a bunch of flour, you mix it, you wash all the starch out of it, and you're left with a big bowl of gluten. This just makes it a hell of a lot easier. So, with the base, you simple it off, you pour it in a bowl, and you add the same amount by weight of water. Then just mix it up. Okay, once you mix it, and you can't mix it no more with a fork, you get in there with the hands. But before we do that, don't forget about your onions cooking back there. Keep going back to them and stirring them around. Alright, once you've given your onions a stir, come back and just start bringing the rest of this together by hand. If you need to, just add a splash more water to make sure it comes together good. Alright, once you've got it together most of the way, just bring it out and just bring it the rest of the way together on your board by hand. Doesn't take too long, maybe a minute or two. And there you have it, pretty ugly bowl of gluten. So we'll set that aside for a few minutes while we get the onions, just about there. With this seitan, we're going to be cooking it in with the goulash with the rest of it. So before we put it in there, we've got to cut this up into small pieces because as it cooks, it does expand quite a lot. So make sure when you cut these up, we got small pieces. I'll cut it into something like that, and then these ones into 3 lines. And this stuff does love to stick together. So as you cut each one, it's a little time consuming, but we'll still wait on the onions to be cooked. So cut these up into little itty bitty nuggets, just like that. And make sure when you finish cutting them, don't let them touch each other because they will want to stick together. So as we're cutting these into little itty bitty nuggets, keep going back and stirring your onions. We don't want any colour on them. Some onions have been cooking away here for nice and slow for a while, and they look a little something like that, which is what you're looking for. This takes about 30-40 minutes total. Right, now the next step is going to add some sweet paprika. You could use smoked paprika. I wouldn't recommend to use too much hot paprika because I've never had a goulash that's spicy, but it doesn't sound like something that I want. So we get that in, and also we're going to add in a little bit of caraway seed. Alright, then we'll just give that a little mix in. Get it all mixed in with the onions. Also to this, we're going to add some stock. Give that a little mix in and bring that up to a simmer. Now a traditional meat goulash, you wouldn't put that much stock in. But because we need that liquid to cook the seitan, we need to put it in there. And also, before you put the seitan in, you want this up to a simmer. So when you drop each piece in, it kind of seals it and then they won't stick to each other. So once this comes up to a slight simmer, we'll get the seitan in. Okay, now here comes a bit of a boring, time-consuming piece. You're going to have to drop every piece of this seitan in one by one. Because if you just scrape them in all together, it's going to stick together in one big lump. And nobody wants that. So once you get them all in, you're going to partially cover it and let it cook away for about 45 minutes. So we got all the seitan in there and it's nothing sticking together. Just going to simple it off. I'm actually going to cover this completely and just let it simmer away for the next 45 minutes. So after it's been cooking away for 45 minutes, you want to take it off the heat and just let it chill out there for about 10 to 15 minutes. Okay, to make the Serviettenknödel, which is a bread dumpling wrapped up in a tea towel, we've got some breadcrumbs here. Now you can already buy these in the store, cubed up like this in Austria. I'm not sure if you can in other countries, but if you can't, just buy a loaf of bread, stale it out, cut it up into cubes. Okay, so to this, I'm gonna add some parsley that I've finely chopped up. Then keep it in with the vegan theme, I'm gonna add a vegan milk of your choice. I'm using oat. Now usually you add eggs to this, but today I'm using an egg replacement, to help bind it together. So 5 grams of the egg replacement to 50 mils of water works out to 1 egg. So I'm making 2 eggs here, so I've got 100 mils of water, and we're gonna put in 10 grams of the egg replacement. All right, so give that a little mix up. The water looked a little cloudy because it was the same jug I had the milk in, just in case you were wondering. All right, we pour that over. All right, then we go in with our hands and start mixing it together. Now, this is a lot of volume to start off with, but when you add the liquid to it, as I just did, and you start to mix it, it will come down a lot. It won't be as much. All right, also to the mix, we're gonna add in some onions that I just cooked off. We're also gonna add a healthy amount of salt because it is half a kilo of bread cubes after all. And we keep on mixing. Once you get it all mixed together, you're gonna taste it for seasoning, adjust as needed. Now you shouldn't be able to feel any hard bits after you've given it all a mix. If you feel any hard bits of bread in there still, just add a little bit more milk at a time until there's no hard bits left. Then you know your liquid levels are right. All right, so once you've got it all mixed together and got it in the bowl, we're just gonna let it sit like that for about 15-20 minutes, just to let it all come together a little bit better. And this is where this dumpling gets its name from, because we're gonna roll it up in a tea towel. So I just had some plastic wrap on the top of that mix, so it didn't dry out or form a crust too much on top. Then I'm gonna scoop that out because it's not gonna plop out on me, onto the tea towel. Now I'm gonna make this rather large, big fat one, because that's what I feel like doing today. So I'm just gonna form it into a log. You want a bit of an overlap because we're gonna roll this up, so make sure you form it, back towards you a lot more. All right, once you've made a nice even log, we're just gonna simply roll it up. Just like that, nice and tight. Then we're gonna get some kitchen string here and tie the ends extremely tight. All right, once you've got it rolled up into a log, we're gonna place it into a pot of simmering water. I've just put another piece of string around the middle because I probably should have used a bigger tea towel, but it's gonna be fine. So I got my pot up to a boil here, simple enough. Just gonna place it in, plop it in, make sure it's all submerged, and then we're gonna let this bubble away for about half an hour. I'll let this dumpling go for a little bit longer. I think I had it in there for about 40 minutes total, just because it's quite thick, this one. So we're just gonna, simply enough, remove it out of the water, throw a tray on the side there. Little pro tip before you serve up the goulash. Cut your dumpling up in the little rings, then toast them off in a pan, and a little bit of butter, or in this case margarine, get a little bit of crisp on the outside. Nice little touch. Put them in a pan, get a little colour on them. Now these don't take long, but once you got a little crisp on both sides, just go ahead, take them out the pan. Okay, once your seitan's rested down for 20 minutes or so, I'm gonna go ahead and give it a taste. Make any adjustments that you think it needs. For me, a little bit of salt, and give it a mix up, and for me, it's ready to serve. Considering the seitan and the dumpling are both made out of bread, I thought it might actually be quite heavy, but it's actually not. The seitan and the goulash, it's quite airy and light, considering it's just a big bowl of gluten. But these dumplings, they turned out better than I ever could have imagined. I can't actually taste any difference between these ones and the ones you make with egg. It's kind of a chilly day outside, so let me go sit on the couch and eat this.